All right, guys. Sorry I'm late. Meeting's running over like crazy. We're going to jump right into this. Again, good morning. Looks like, let's see. It never ends. I love it. What's up? What's up? Cat's attacking. Everything's going wrong. Hey, Ginger, will you get the cat, please? I love it. Yeah, before she bombs the computer. I get cats that like to jump on my computer. All right, so let's see what we got. First of all, Microsoft looking to buy TikTok. I thought this was super, super interesting. Saw it coming from a mile away. President's on TV. He's talking about banning TikTok in the U.S. I knew that Microsoft was having discussions, and wondered if some of you got in on that Microsoft deal. Looks like Mnuchin also signaled this weekend he was really interested in trying to get a deal done with Microsoft, although the president is continued to talk about banning TikTok, and it seems more punitive at this point. But Microsoft aims for a deal to buy TikTok's U.S. business. Covert talks began weeks ago on transactions that could reshape the global tech landscape and further strain U.S.-China relations. After the software giant's CEO and Trump spoke Sunday, Microsoft said an agreement could include the video app's operations in Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. I think that's a super interesting development. I don't think Microsoft is a very good fit for TikTok. It just seems like a cultural clash, but I guess we'll see how that all plays out. I saw another casualty of this bankruptcy phenomenon that's going on right now. Lord & Taylor filed for bankruptcy. I'm not even sure if anyone shops at Lord & Taylor anymore. I doubt any of you do. I certainly can't recall going into a Lord & Taylor maybe ever. I've seen it at the mall, but yeah, it's nothing I've nothing I've experienced or longed to experience. So we'll see how that all goes. Looks like there's continued pressure on gasoline and jet fuel, and refiners, are struggling. The U.S. fuel makers ran below capacity in the second quarter in a preview of the challenges they're likely to face as the world transitions away from fossil fuels. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing as we look at alternatives: hydro, wind, solar, tidal, waste to energy. Nuclear. I had an awesome call recently with guys who have aggregated most of the nuclear power plants in the United States. These things run at like 93% efficiency. So they're just throwing off like hundreds of megawatts of power into the grid. They're literally giving it away due to the pressures in pricing kilowatts due to natural gas prices. So really interesting developments. Fossil fuels are continuing to get wrecked. There's still going to be lots of pressure, downward pressure on oil. Refiners are feeling it. I feel for them, but maybe good for the environment. The disconnect from fossil fuels, right? Yep, got another hot topic I was following, and we're dealing with this in our own house around going back to school. Haven't been real impressed with some of the strategies that the local schools here in North Carolina have deployed in regards to how they're dealing with COVID and students. It seems like there's been a lot of push from the Fed and the White House to get in-person classes started again. Seems like it's mostly motivated as a daycare plan to get people back to work, in my opinion. Even the president's son does not go to in-person classes. His private school does not offer that in New York. So I find that contradiction to be a bit alarming, as it looks like there's just this big push to get kids back to school. The private schools here in North Carolina are trying to open with some blended Zoom online option with an in-person option. My opinion is we'll see a spike in COVID. Hopefully that is contained. I'm slow playing sending the kids back to school. Simply, why not spend after they go back, wait 2-3 weeks, do online classes, see if there's an outbreak of COVID, see how the school deals with that. It seems like the most conservative approach, in my opinion. You're not YOLOing back into the environment. Again, I'm not really impressed with the way the schools that we're talking to are dealing with the COVID-19 plan to reopen. So you're looking at what's happening at most major universities and colleges, looking at what happened in the Major League Baseball. You're just seeing that once we bring everyone back together, everyone starts to contract COVID-19. Nicholas Lugo, a school, forgot the state, reopened, and the same day went into quarantine due to one student going most of the day through halls and classes and them finding out too late. I mean, I would expect that that's what happens. You've got a huge population of patients or people who have no symptoms, asymptomatic carriers of COVID-19 that are going to go back to school with masks, but those masks are going to be some version of cloth over their face, not N95 masks. And they're going to be in close quarters. They're going to take the masks off to eat in the cafeteria. I mean, we're all smart enough to understand that once those things happen, a virus has an opportunity to propagate, et cetera. So it'll be interesting to see. My plan, my feeling, look, I've been quarantined and doing the social distancing thing since March 18th. It sucks. It's hurt the country. It's hurt businesses. It's hurt small businesses. It's hurt the kids psychologically. I get all of that. I have compassion and I feel bad for it. But rushing back to school now simply because we're tired of COVID without a real good plan, and I mean a good plan, doesn't make much sense to me. So I'm personally and our family's choosing to do Zoom option for 2 to 3 weeks after they've opened the schools, and let's just watch. If there's an outbreak of COVID, we've avoided that. If nothing happens and the school proves that they have good procedures and policies and cleaning, et cetera, in place, then all we did was lose 2 to 3 weeks of social interaction with our friends, and we'll get back into it. It seems reasonable to me. Robo Jacko, I don't believe the virus is real, Jason. That's an interesting statement. You know, we at Going Parabolic don't support that. I would rather have you said, I don't think the virus is alive. That would have been more interesting to discuss. Let's see. Global factories increase production but overseas demand remains soft. Factories across Europe and parts of Asia increased production in July. That's good news, but the upswing was held back by weak overseas demand. Bad news, suggesting a long and precarious road ahead for the global economy. You know, V-shape versus U-shape. If there's no buyers, you can turn on your factories all you want, but nobody's going to buy your products. So you got all sorts of supply chain issues still. So really tough road ahead still, in my opinion. GOP Democrats remain at loggerheads over $600 jobless benefit. The Democrats and Republicans remained at odds in weekend negotiations on new coronavirus economic relief package, including aid to replace the federal $600 a week boost to unemployment benefits that expired Friday. Sounds like a lot of people are hung out to dry here. It's heartbreaking. No matter what side of the fence you are in regards to the jobless benefit, it's heartbreaking for those that have lost their jobs, that are facing hunger, loss of their homes, etc. It's a tough situation. It's a tough situation. So I hope that there is a parachute for these folks and we continue to be compassionate as we find our way back to employment and a strong economy. So let's jump in here. Ivan, good morning. Francisco Espinoza, what's up? No, the new time's gonna be 10:30. Sorry, I was late. I was on a meeting that was just droning on. Nicholas Lugo, 100% agree. Jack Smith became a jobless. I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you're back to employment soon, my friend. And himself seems like the best plan. Banner Twan, the virus was man-made. That's an interesting statement. I'm not sure if that's true. I think that there's a lot of people looking at the Wuhan laboratory and how this thing moved, and we'll see. We'll find out retrospectively what happened here. What's up, Amina? Good morning. Yeah, I thought this was a really good article in, as I told you guys, I read the Morning Brew, or I get the Morning Brew every day. I think it's a really good newsletter. So coronavirus around the world. The single most important factor for the health of the global economy is how well countries contain the virus. And that's probably true. That's probably true at this point. The U.S. seems to not be doing a good job. It was funny because in Europe, you guys went with a herd immunity strategy right out of the gate and didn't go over so well. Then you shut down 95% of your economy and seem to have contained the virus better than we have here in the United States. It appears, looking across the pond, that you're opening retail, bars, and gyms at a better clip than we are here in the United States. Here, we did kind of a 50% shutdown of our economy, hurt badly. And it seems now middle America, we have hotspots all over the United States. Some of the states that disregarded masks, disregarded some of the warning signals that were sent from New York and from California are now some of the most heavily or experiencing the most heavy diagnoses of COVID. The White House Coronavirus Task Force coordinator Dr. Deborah Birx told CNN yesterday the coronavirus is more widespread than before, impacting rural as well as urban areas. Looks like Australia is like in a state of disaster due to corona. Record number of cases across the week. The city of Melbourne was placed under a curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. for the next 6 weeks. Norway, I have some people that I follow on Twitter. They're always bragging about the fact they had contained. Nobody's really wearing masks except for on public transportation. Well, it looks like the first company to start up international cruises since they were all canceled reported 36 crew members tested positive for coronavirus. Nearly 400 guests on 2 cruises have been asked to self-quarantine. This is in Norway. Vietnam, they're trying to test 1.1 million residents. The number of coronavirus deaths in Vietnam, a country of 95 million people, remains in the single digits. So that seems like pretty darn good control. Very good. Yeah, so on top of all this, we got a hurricane bearing down, hitting Florida, coming up the coast. It looks like it's a tropical storm or category 1, so it's a little rainy. Hopefully it's a non-event. People are safe. Don't lose power. Don't lose water. And we're back to normal on Wednesday or Thursday here in North Carolina. I appreciate you asking about that, Chris. Amina M. working up here in Canada with Norman Traversy. He is privately prosecuting Trudeau for crimes up here. Interesting. I don't know much about it. I'll have to read more. Corona games. I'm not familiar with it. Robo Jacko. When something is all over the media, you know it's propaganda. Maybe. Joel Surter, much love from the locked down Melbourne, Australia. Yep. That's what we were talking about. Yeah, if you guys could hit the like button, subscribe, share, we're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers here. Really exciting stuff. Listen, I got to run. I got an 11 o'clock meeting. Sorry I'm late. See you tomorrow, 10:30. You guys are awesome. Let's go.